Hey, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New season.
A little early. Happy new season.
Hey, Mike, talk about getting to Tom Brady, and I know, the book on him is you have to hit him, but I guess that's the book on any quarterback, right? I mean, what do you do to rattle Tom Brady?
Well, they have an extremely good package, obviously, and Tom controls most all of it, as we all know. But and they've got a very good line that plays extremely well together. So he's difficult to get to. I think that anyone that has, as Detroit showed a little bit, it's going to come from not only scheme, but more importantly, it's got to come from your players and things. But they do an outstanding job up front. It's something I think everyone intends to do going into the game, and whether you get it done or not, the game tells.
And I was going to ask you, is that Detroit game, is that any kind of a blueprint? I mean, can you use that?
I think it's every game that somebody plays is important to watch. I think that they probably were not, they didn't play, at the top of their game either, New England, but Detroit did play awfully well. I'll just say every game is valuable. I don't want to put one game more, ahead of another, because you can get something from every game. Some teams, some teams go in there and they have a very good plan, but it just doesn't get executed properly, so they you fall off. And those same games are worth something to watch as well.
Mike, you've got 10 of 11 starters returning from last year. What's the biggest difference that you want to see out of this unit compared to what they put forth last season?
Well, I think experience on any unit is really important, and so I'd like to think that our group plays better together than with every opportunity. That was the same for last year, but even as seasons change and you go to the next year, just like to see the guys become more of a cohesive unit. It's still early in the season. Obviously, we didn't have an off season, but I think every team's dealing with the exact same thing. But that's what you'd like to see.
Hey, Mike, how would you assess Kevin Burnett's play so far, and what you see his role in the defense?
He's been a very good addition, and as is with the entire defense, I think everybody gets turns in the things that we do, and his ability to make a play hopefully will add to that position as far as that goes. But he's been a very good addition. His and Carlos's relationship has been very good as well, not only on the field but off the field, in the meetings, and that's really important on the inside. I know that Carlos depended heavily on Channing a year ago and what he offered, and they tried to play off one another as often as they could. And Kevin's a different type of a player, so they just need to continue to play together and see where it goes.
Is the challenge of preparing for Brady different when it's a season opener? You maybe don't have quite as much of an idea of what they're going to be doing.
Oh, I don't know that there's a whole lot of surprises in the game. They've got a very complete package. They've got an outstanding offensive scheme. Not only good players, but the scheme is very good. It's a best play offense, and Tom runs it, and he does an extremely good job with it. He's been doing it a long time. It's not. I don't know that they've really been in an evolution type of a process over these years. I think it's more just get better and better at what you do. They certainly tweak it every year like everybody does, and when new players come in, I think they use their players as well as anybody in the league. If you have a strength, they try to utilize your strength. They don't try to, put a square peg in a round hole, so to speak. They do an outstanding job with that. So, like I said, it's not the preparation part of it. I think is just getting ready for that same team, or I should say sameness. There's some, like I said, some personnel changes, but from a scheme standpoint, it's pretty similar to what they've been. Like I said, they'll try to attack you in a different way. That's one other thing. They do a great job of trying to address take advantage of what another team's weaknesses might be.
What is the next step? What is the next step in the evolution of this defense here at Miami?
Of ours?
Yeah.
Next step, I don't know. That's kind of the excitement of the journey, to be perfectly honest with you. You never really know where it's going to go, and you just hope it's going in the right direction at all times, and that's what you keep working for. But the better you get, I think, is evidenced by the way they play together. Because individuals can perform well and get stats, and that can be all. But a lot of times, if that overshadows the unit, then you got a bad defense.
Do you need more turnovers?
Everybody needs more turnovers, yeah.
Mike, to talk about the third year for a quarterback being a big year, is the same thing for a cornerback? I mean, these two guys seem to have the sense that they're about to become a really good tandem.
I really couldn't answer that, to be honest with you, other than the fact that every year they should be getting better. And hopefully they do. They need to be quiet and just play.
Does that bother you when Bonte makes comments like he did last week? They got national attention.
It doesn't bother me one lick when you back it up. You can say whatever you want. It's kind of like the team that wins gets to say what they want. Everybody's got to just sit there and eat it. Whether they're right or wrong, they get to say it. You can't say much if you're not doing well. So hopefully they like I said, if they're doing well, I guess they can talk all they want.
Mike, how much more can you expect from Carlos Dansby now that he's had a full year in your defense?
Like I said, I mean, how much is hard to say. I just like him to continue to play better, as he gets, just get better and better all the time. The changes around him, whether it be Kevin Burnett, for example, should change some of his play, so to speak, a little bit, and hopefully it's even better. But I think Carlos would tell you too. The longer you're in a system and the language comes natural and all those types of things, you get to just play. And I think every player, that's always true. If something's new to players, it'll slow them down a little bit. And it may not even show on the one play, but it'll show on another play someplace else. So I would say on all the guys that are coming back again and playing in the defense, you just like to think that they continue to play faster all the time. You can always, get better.
Is there an art to disguising? I know 3-4 is built on disguising what your intentions are and who's coming, who's not. Is there an art to sort of doing it to confuse a quarterback? And how often do you think that happens, where you show him something pre-snap and he falls for it?
How often does it happen? That's a good question, because every team is different. Some teams put a lot of stock in it, and some teams don't. Some teams are just, this is what we do, and we've got good players, and here's how we're gonna show up and dance with the one we brought. Where some other teams do try to disguise it more. I think it's valuable against certain quarterbacks, and then some others it's less valuable. It's a game plan issue, and it changes week to week.
Paul
Along-
Solich.
Along those lines, in terms of disguising all that, where does Brady rank in the league in terms of intelligence among quarterbacks?
Boy, I tell you what, if he's not number one, he's an extremely close number two. The guys that stand out to me, your best quarterbacks in the league that stand out to me, obviously, there's no question Tom Brady's up there, Peyton Manning's up there, Drew Brees is up there, Rivers is up there. There's other guys that belong in that list, but those guys in particular, in my mind, stand out going against them all the years. And I look back over guys that were really good in the past that have moved on. That's, you've got to be smart to be really good in this league. If you don't, you have to be extremely talented, and your legs are part of that. But otherwise, in the NFL, the prototypical quarterback, so to speak, a smart football player. Now, not just everyday smarts. I mean, there's everyday smarts, and then there's smart football, and they're two different things. Some people have both. But Tom Brady's an extremely smart quarterback. He does an outstanding job.
Paul Solich had pretty much a breakthrough year last year. What have you seen in him this year that would suggest to you that it wasn't just lucky?
It's just the fact that when I first even came here, everybody kind of starts with a clean slate in my mind. I was just learning about the guys. People can say what they want, but I formulate my own opinions about who I think is good and not good. And in my mind, I thought that he was going to be a good player. How good, I had no idea, but I thought he was going to be good. And just because of the things and the way you see him play and react to certain things, I would say to some degree he exceeded those expectations. But at the same time, he's got a lot to offer. He's got more to offer than he has already as well. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay, guys, great. Thank you. Those who want to go in the locker room, I'll bring in.